According to police, 49-year-old Jeff Parker called 911 saying he was having suicidal thoughts. WAAY 31's Cody Fisher is sitting down with his fiancée today. Cody?
Dan and Demetria, this shooting happened right inside the dining room of this house on Damaris Avenue on April 3rd. And at the time, Jeff Parker was, as you said, having suicidal thoughts, and his fiancée says that she has multiple sclerosis, and she was resting in a nearby room when police arrived.
And then there was just a stampede and voices. You couldn't distinguish any words. It was just chaos. Multiple voices yelling, and then a pow. And this all happened within a matter of seconds.
Louthan and Parker's family were trying to get the body camera video of the incident from police to piece together what happened, but they've been denied so far.
I don't know what caused the officer to feel threatened enough to shoot my fiance in the face with a shotgun of all things.
WAAY 31 put in an open records request for the video, but the attorney for police denied the request, citing state law saying police investigation materials are not public records. Louthan says she never saw Parker depressed or suicidal in the year they were together. She says a week before his death, Parker was posting on social media pictures of their future wedding rings. All officers involved in the incident have been cleared of wrongdoing because they followed police policy.
Protocol, procedures, guidelines, rules, regulations, and training need to change.
CBS42.com gives us this story. The trial begins today, May 3rd, 2021, for Huntsville police officer charged with murder. Officer William Darby is accused of murdering Jeffrey Parker in April of 2018.
Parker's neighbors told us they saw the police cars drive up to the house the night he was killed. After the indictment was announced, WAAY 31's Cody Fisher went back to the street where it all happened to get their take on the charges. Cody's live now with what he found out. Cody.
Greg, Jeff Parker's fiancée, Michelle, still lives in the house he died in here on Damaris Avenue, and she's not speaking us tonight because of the advice of her attorney, but I spoke to their neighbor across the street who has lived in this house for 28 years. Sandra Humphreys was upstairs looking out this window when she saw the police roll up to the house.
And when I shut the windows, I turned away and I heard a pop. And when I turned back around, they were in the house and I could see them through the door.
When she saw Jeff's fiancée, Michelle, come outside, hysterically crying, she made her way across the street to this piece of sidewalk to comfort her. Humphrey and her family are just as surprised at this indictment as the Parker family is, because the Huntsville Police Department cleared all officers involved. They're glad the case is making its way through the legal system because they had some questions about how everything went down.
Parker called 911 saying he was suicidal. Officer Darby was the third officer to respond to Parker's home on Damaris Avenue. The man was shot by Officer Darby after refusing to drop a gun that Parker had been holding to his own head.
We don't want to certainly ruin the police officer's life in any way, but things should have been handled differently.
The Humphreys are holding out their final judgment until all of the truth comes to light, but they simply want to know exactly what happened and how a suicide call by Jeff could end with him being shot.
We want to know that Jeff didn't die needlessly.
After the shooting, the Huntsville Police Department Review Board found Darby acted within department policy, of course. The Madison County District Attorney's Office disagreed, thank you, and a Madison County grand jury indicted him for murder in August of 2018. Thank you.
Just a few hours, attorneys from both sides will come here and meet in Judge Donna Pate's courtroom, and they'll begin the process of jury selection. Now, here's what we know and how we got to this point. On April 3rd, 2018, William Darby was one of several officers responding to 911 calls about a suicidal man on Damaris Avenue. That's according to HPD. Now, that man was Jeffrey Parker. Now, police say Parker was armed with a handgun, and body cam video shows officers demanding Parker drop the weapon several times before Darby fires the fatal shot.
Rosa Parks committee spokesperson David Person said I think it's notable that the DA, who is part of the law enforcement process, is saying that this needs to be a prosecuted case. We can't ignore that. Person said there's a larger conversation to be had about tense interactions between officers and civilians. Person said it raises questions, some of which have been raised in the recent audit and review of the police department. It raises real questions about training, not just as it relates to race relations, but also specifically how do you engage people who are in crises. He feels change in the fundamentals would behoove the city, regardless of the upcoming trial's verdict. Person said there's got to be a different way of processing and handling those circumstances. For the sake of the next Mr. or Mrs. Parker out there, we've got to see a different course of action taken.
Initially, Darby was cleared by an internal investigation, but a few months later, the district attorney announced that he had concerns over the legitimacy of the shooting. The case was sent to a grand jury who returned this murder indictment. Now, it's important to note that the city of Huntsville is paying for a certain percentage of the court costs. But for now, we'll continue to update you on this as it develops. But for now, reporting live in Huntsville.
Now, the city of Huntsville is paying up to $125,000 for Darby's defense. Darby's attorneys argue he acted in self-defense to protect himself and other officers. I can't find actual body camera footage of the incident. I will try to look again. I was just looking on YouTube. But it said that he shot him to protect himself and the other officers. Did he turn the gun on them? What happened? Because I don't know. It said that in the story here that he was holding the gun to his head. So did he just shoot him because he wouldn't drop the gun? Hopefully this goes the same way as the Chauvin trial, and this guy, Darby, gets put away for many years. I don't know, but yeah. Because I'm speaking and I haven't seen the body camera footage yet. But it's funny how sometimes you have these suicidal people and the cops just shoot them. I mean, like, okay, you wanted to die, and people go, well, you want to die anyway. But that doesn't give the cops the right to play God. So I've been searching for this body camera video, and I can't find it. If you find it, let me know. I want to know, did he turn the gun or what happened? Because it says in the story he was holding the gun to his head, and he was shot for the safety of the officer and his co-workers, the other officers. But this trial begins in Huntsville. This is going to be another, they say this one, you know, it's weird though. This one isn't as high profile as the George Floyd case, but yet it's still one where a cop shot somebody and now he's being indicted for murder. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers to include those on trial from California to Huntsville, Alabama. Thing.